Welcome to Bopina. I'm chef owner Chris McDade. Bopina is an Italian restaurant with Southern inspiration. Today we're going to meld the two cuisines, making chess pie. Chess pie is probably the most straightforward and traditional Southern thing on our menu. It's super simple. So the chess pie at Bopina differs a little bit from the lemon chess pie that you might see on most tables in the South. We do ours with a little bit of chocolate, and then one other thing that we do that sets ours apart is we use Fernet in the end. So that kind of gives us the perfect Southern meets Italian. Growing up in the South, and Southerners love sweets, right? We put sweet in our tea, we put sweet on the dessert table, there's sugar, molasses, candied everything. That, with it being so simple, I think is why most people love this pie. To get the Italian flavor, obviously Fernet is from Italy, and Italians are on the opposite end of the spectrum, so they love everything bitter, which is where we get our Amaros from, but also it lends it to, it gives it more of like a menthol quality. So you can think chocolate and mint, and it just seems to work really well. It's super simple, few ingredients. We have sugar, butter, cocoa powder, buttermilk, eggs, cornmeal, vanilla. Ours is macerated with a little bit of bourbon, and then again the Fernet. All right, so to get started, we're gonna take about 1.5 cups of sugar, and then we're gonna crack our eggs in. And then this part is kind of important. You want to make sure you fully incorporate the egg, but you don't want to over whisk it. So you don't want to add too much air. You just want to kind of make sure they're mixed in there. And then at this point, you want to add the rest of the dry ingredients, which for us is the cocoa powder and the cornmeal. The cornmeal we use is fine cornmeal. It's the antebellum style from Anson Mills, right outside of Charleston. It gives it a little bit of structure, right? Because some pies, some recipes for chess pie have flour, some have cornmeal and flour, and then some have none at all. But we prefer cornmeal. It also has a little bit of texture, and it just makes it a little bit easier to set because you are using so much sugar and so much buttermilk. So after the dry ingredients, you go in with your butter. The butter is melted and then cooled to room temperature. And you also want the buttermilk to be cooled to room temperature, because once you put this in the oven, you don't want it to have to heat the filling up before it can start cooking it. So once we have the buttermilk, chess pie always has a crust on the top once you finish cooking it. And if you put everything in cold, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have a hard crust before you have the ooey gooey center that you're looking for. Again, throughout the whole thing, you wanna make sure everything's incorporated, but you don't wanna over whisk. And then we go in with our vanilla and the Fernet. But you all want the flavors to be muted, so it helps to add them right at the end. All right, and that's pretty much the filling, super simple. And then this is our pie crust. You can buy a pie crust if you don't wanna make one at home. Ours is super simple and straightforward, flour and butter. A little bit of salt. We cook it on high heat first for about 5 minutes. Make sure you have pie weights. We use parchment paper and salt. And then we drop the temperature down, continue cooking it with the pie weights for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Pie weights come out. I take a fork, poke it a few times with a fork, and then we cook it on that 325 until it's pretty much set. You want it to be completely set. One thing about chess pie is the filling is kind of heavy. So if you have a pie crust that's not fully set, then you're gonna end up, it's gonna be completely raw on the bottom. Just pour all the filling in, or depending on your pie pan, you don't wanna go too high because this is it will expand in the oven before it sets. So at this point, we've had our oven preheated to 350. We're gonna put it in. We're gonna set a timer for maybe 25 minutes, take a peek at it. It's probably gonna need to be rotated and put back in for another 25 minutes. All in all, it takes about an hour. When you get ready to pull this out of the oven, you want to give the pan a little bit of a jiggle. You want it to be mostly set on the outside, but still have a little bit of movement on the inside and the center. Once you get there, you want to pull it out, make sure it's cooling on a rack. What you need to do is let this come in cooler room temperature, so anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. And then at that point, you can either slice into it, or you can put it in the refrigerator, let it get cold. It can be enjoyed room temperature or straight out of your refrigerator. Wrapped in your refrigerator, you could probably hold the pie for 2 to 3 days, but I wouldn't take it any further than that. Personally, I like pie on a plate. That's it. It's just a slice of pie on a plate, let the pie shine. At the restaurant, since it is so sweet, we serve it with a little bit of cream that we've whipped. No sugar, nothing else. It's just whipped cream that's been whipped. All right, guys, this is the chocolate chess pie from Bopina. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.